Welcome back to Red Cedar Radar. I'm joined by a huge crew today. It's lovely to have all my friends here. Let's go down the line and introduce ourselves because I've been told that I need to do a better job of introducing myself, so I'm going to make you go first.
Oh, I get to go first. Age before beauty, I suppose. So I'm Paul Fanson, otherwise known as Dr. Green and White.
Yes.
It's good to be here today.
Yeah, I am Jonah Wilson, one of the co-hosts of the We Got It podcast.
I'm Sydney. You see me all the time. I'm here for the last time this season, but I'm here very often.
And I'm Abby Wilson. I'm the other co-host of We Got It podcast.
All their social information will be linked down below, their podcast stuff too, because we have some travel ahead of us for March Madness. Abby and Jonah will be at the Big Ten tournament, so follow along on their socials. Will you do podcasts there, or?
Yeah,
cool.
We should have
Oh my
podcasts.
gosh, a Big Ten tournament version?
Yeah.
We got a podcast? Special. You should watch.
Hopefully, an episode for every game that the Spartans keep winning.
So hopefully three of them.
So three games.
Yeah,
exactly.
3 games.
3 episodes. And then you and I may make a trip in March Madness together, as
We will
is
try.
historically our
Yes.
trend.
If the
Yeah.
Spartans will cooperate, then yes. I'm
Yes.
hoping to be there for
Yeah.
the second weekend.
Yeah, okay. So let's jump right in. So Michigan State got the win over Rutgers today on Senior Day to kind of round out the season here at the Breslin. Let's do players of the game. I'm going to say Cohen Carr for my player of the game. I feel like he made free throws that has been difficult for him this season, and I think he maybe needed that little confidence going into whatever's coming next for the Spartans. And I just felt like he commanded the court the way that I've always thought that he could and that he's shown flashes of, but he did it a little bit more consistently tonight. Anybody? Maybe Paul, do you have a player of the game?
I was going to go with Cam Ward, who I
Yeah.
thought was going to be maybe underappreciated, but then Izzo spent actually quite a bit of time praising him in the press conference. He's really been on the rise in the last few games, and certainly he was very strong at the beginning of the season. He had that injury on Thanksgiving against North Carolina, and then really kind of was, I don't want to say slow to recover, but I think it took him quite a while to sort of get back to that same form that he showed in the first month of the season. But we've really seen that now for several games in a row, and just the energy that he brings is just really second to none. And he put up, I think, let's see. He only had 9 points, which surprised me, but he also did have nine rebounds. So again, the energy that he brings, he's contributing more and more, and I think he's going to be a big piece of the puzzle going forward with this team.
It might be hard to choose 4 different unique players of the game.
I was going to say,
yeah.
I think I have to echo Cohen. I think a lot for what you were saying at the end. He was just doing a lot of things that I've been hoping to see him click and start doing, and just felt like I saw a lot more confidence with him handling the ball, going up against pressure underneath the hoop, getting the ball on the glass, and then just seeing his free throws just sink in was like a huge success, huge win in my book. And I think beginning to end of the game, he had the most consistent performance of anybody on the court.
Yeah, I think one person I would like to mention too is Jeremy Fears. I felt like his first half was maybe a little more shaky. I know he had some foul trouble as well, but really in the second half, when Michigan State did kind of push their lead out, he was controlling the game like he usually does, finding teammates. I think he had 6 assists in the second half, and also finished with, I think it was 21
points.
21 points. So really just, control the game when that first half especially was a dogfight. And obviously the game ended kind of in a dogfight, but as Michigan State kind of pulled that lead out, he was a big part of kind of calming down the offense, getting them good looks. I'd mention him.
I don't know. Oh, sorry.
No.
I don't know if you guys felt this way, but every single time he pulled up for a floater in the second half, I was like, it's in. I don't. There was something about just like his confidence and the fact he was taking those shots. It was going in.
I agree.
Yeah, a lot of early offense, which towards the end especially, it's like, I think, milking a little bit more clock would be also okay here. But no, he kept sticking him, and that's credit to him. And certainly the way that MSU came out of the second half,
That was going to be my positive.
Yeah.
Like, that was what they needed to do, but I wasn't sure because they have had his slow starts and been able to pick it up, but also sometimes never been able to get it going. So I wasn't sure what version of the team we were going to have today. So that was going to be my positive of the game. You can keep going. Sorry, I interrupted.
I think the Spartans forced Steve Pike will take 2 timeouts before they got to the first media timeout in the
Yeah.
second half. They just were relentless coming out with energy. And then there was that one sequence where, you had 3
Oh my
consecutive dunks
goodness.
from Cohen Carr in transition, and then Jordan Scott got a 4th one
Mhm.
in the next possession just for fun. I've never seen anything like that
I
before.
definitely blacked out for a second. It was just that good.
Yeah. And it was just like, oh, we can just take this anytime we want to at this point.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's talk more positives. I mean, I feel like when we talk about players of the game, we also talk about positives of the game. But anything else that we haven't talked about yet before we move into things that maybe the Spartans need to improve upon before they head down the road to Ann Arbor?
I mean, I think they did respond well again in the second half. They were pretty tight in the first half, and just the fact that they were able to sort of turn the switch on and play through it, because it was, it's an emotional day for senior day. And honestly, in some respects, Rutgers did play well. Like, they went through spurts where that offense looks dysfunctional, but then again, they would also had several sequences where they just stuck shots over and over again. I mean, they hit their last 9 shots of the game.
Yeah.
So, to be able to play through that, I think was good.
Yeah, and I think getting the win for the seniors in the midst of all of that was the most important part, and they were able to do that.
Yeah. And another thing that just occurred to me was the fact that Fears had to play with a little bit of foul trouble.
Yeah,
and
I
didn't
was
get
just
We
any.
talked about that.
Yeah, that was subtly important.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that might be something that happens, and he needs to be able to know how to not rein himself in, but behave during those moments where they're watching him tightly for that last foul. Things that need to go better, my first thought would just be getting Jordan Scott back to where he was, and I think he just had a freshman moment, which is to be expected, and it's crazy that he hasn't had very many up until now. And those things, I think, once you step out of bounds once, you're down on yourself, and you do it again, and you're down on yourself again, and it's just like, what are you going to do? So I don't think that that's going to be a persistent issue. I think he will bounce back because of the personality that he's portrayed through this whole season. But that's one area to watch because Spartans do need him since he is a starter going forward. Anything else other than maybe the obvious slow start that the Spartans need to fix specifically?
I don't know what the stats were on points in the paint tonight. Just from my eye test watching it felt like we just weren't getting as many opportunities inside from our bigs, especially against a Rutgers team than I would maybe expect.
46 points in the paint.
What'd you say?
46 points in
Okay,
the paint.
so a lot more than they were quiet ones. Though.
Well, when you have
Well, a
4
lot of
straight
dunks.
possessions with
Yeah,
ends
right.
and
That is
dunks,
very true.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't always think of them that way. I guess I'm more thinking like points in the paint from Jackson and from
Right.
Carson.
Right.
I think that's something that was just massive in the Purdue game, massive in the Indiana game, and definitely need to carry that forward into tournament play.
yeah, I mean, I think the end of the game debacle, I don't think there's really a lot of takeaways from that. That was just kind of a perfect storm of lots of different things that happened. One thing that I was kind of monitoring, especially in the first half, was Michigan State finished with 11 field goals in the first half and 10 turnovers. Not a great ratio that you want to have when you're playing teams not named Rutgers. Come next week in the Big Ten tournament, Sunday against Michigan NCAA tournament, that's not a survivable formula. I'm sure Paul could come up with some data that backs that up. Probably that when your turnover to field goal ratio is about even, it's bad.
It's bad.
And a lot of just unforced turnovers,
Yes.
guys stepping out of bounds, passes bouncing off hands. And maybe some of that was the emotions of senior day. Maybe it was just knowing that you're playing a Rutgers, so they just maybe weren't as focused and locked in as they will be when the stakes are higher. But that kind of performance when you're in March is going to send you home. And we've seen some inconsistencies where we know Michigan State has the ability to protect the basketball. I mean, 6 turnovers on the road at Purdue, but then 10 in the first half at home against Rutgers. Like, they kind of got to figure that out and make sure they're protecting the ball, because if not, it might not be the March that a lot of people are hoping for.
It kind of goes with something that I've been saying, like with the slow starts, you can maybe have one in a March Madness and get through. But you do it 2 times, it builds up. You do it 3 times, it builds up, and that's just not a sustainable model. You can't play that close together and having to be grinding out a win every single time. Like, you have to just have a different game model when you get in those situations. Since with the Big Ten tournament, they're so back to back, and then March Madness a little more spread out, but similar.
Yeah, you can't have a start like that even against a 15 or a 14 seed.
That's how you get burned. Yeah, as per
trouble.
Anything else we want to say? I just want to say you're already repping the big merch.
Oh, yeah,
they
the Big Ten.
should. Big Ten. We got a guy here that he's repping you, so maybe put a little extra PR on his seat.
That'd be cool.
Do we want to talk about the next game? Izzo refused to talk about the next game. He said he would yell at us if we asked questions about the next game.
Fair, honestly.
Let's talk about it.
I'll just
I'm
say
not
that
scared.
I'm not. I mean, honestly, this is one of the lowest pressure Michigan State basketball games that I can imagine.
Yeah.
Because there's really almost no downside. Like,
Yeah.
what's the worst thing that can happen? They beat us by 20 or 30 points. I don't think that's going to happen. And B, so what? Whatever, guys. But the upside is tremendous. You go down there and you ruin their senior day. Not that they really have real seniors, but if they did, that would probably make them feel bad. And
Well, I feel like you're holding some things in.
it could be, let's say the downside's small, but the upside is pretty good, and that could be a lot of fun. So I think, it's going to be, it's always a stressful game, but
We will have a
less so than
team
most.
down in Ann Arbor. David and I will be there, and Kaden, who's been on the pod before. We didn't get a photo pass for Marvin, which is disappointing. Those Wolverines, how rude of them. But
It's terrible.
follow along with us in Ann Arbor. We'll have coverage. And subscribe to Spartans Illustrated because we have a lot of good stuff coming for March. Paul's putting out some great articles so you can kind of plan your March Madness trips and maybe your Big Ten tournament trip if you're thinking about going. And like I said, check out the We Got It podcast for a Big Ten tournament.
I think it's
Stuff comes
also confirmed that Andrew talks hoops.
That
Yeah,
is true.
also
He's been on the
Chicago.
pod. You've seen him.
There's a lot of
You've
fun.
probably seen his face on the internet
All the
'cause he's
reasons
cool.
to subscribe to Spartans Illustrated.
And yeah, follow along with us throughout March, and then maybe stick around because we'll have good stuff for football season coming up soon too. So thanks so much for watching, and thanks so much for joining us all year throughout the games here at the Breslin. I've really appreciated it. I know that these are some familiar faces. I think they've appreciated it too. So thanks so much. Bye.
Yeah.